Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyam. Namaskar. We continue with the Ramayana project, exploring the potential of research in the Kishkinda Kandam, that is the fourth book of the Ramayana. The Kishkinda Kandam is a treasure trove for zoologists, botanists, and anthropologists. Many research projects of different plants found in the region, the detailed descriptions of the various types of animals mentioned in the Kishkinda Kandam, and the entire concept of the unique and beautiful kingdom of Kishkinda, its sheer glory, size, and the wealth and the organization of that kingdom, and the hierarchy between the ruler and the subjects, is a topic which would give great insights into the life of those times and the life of sentient beings organized in a system. Let's begin with the concept of the very enumeration of the number of Vanaras mentioned in this book. This is a project that needs to be undertaken. In fact, if you collaborate the data mentioned in chapter 17 of the Balakandam, we will get insights and in-depth information on the level of genetic engineering and the features and qualities that emerged in these beings. Just enumerating and doing the census of the Vanara hordes mentioned here would give us a clear picture of the fauna population of the times, presuming that the hordes enumerated are predominantly males, because it was the males who were engaged in the cause of finding Sita, and the female population was sent back or kept back to prevent them from harm. The Kishkinda Kandam also talks about a number of ogres and rakshasas in Lanka. In fact, if we add up all these numbers, were on the mainland and killed by Rama in Aranyakandam, this gives us an inkling of what the entire population, other than the humans, of the region was at that time. Unlike in the present day, where we only consider humans as worthy of being enumerated and being on this planet, in the Ramayana, we find that all beings, irrespective of their origins, of their nature, and the qualities, are revered and treated with equal importance. We need to go beyond simian stereotypes or our current day understanding of what simian behavior or animal behavior is all about. A question that arises as you read the Kishkinda Kandam is, how was Rama and Lakshmana able to communicate and speak with these Vanaras? What was the language they conversed in? Let us not use our current understanding of these creatures we see today with those of that era. Let us not be arrogant enough as humans to assume that only humans were advanced and capable of many feats. Even the non-human beings were highly advanced creatures, including the ogres, the rakshasas, the gandharvas, the charanas, and all the other types of beings mentioned in the entire Ramayana. With great skills and talent in some cases, these Vanaras far outstripped those of the humans. The fact that Rama needs to rely on their help and assistance shows they were advanced and evolved beings. Although they were of simian nature, they had the intellect to be able to read and learn the scriptures and communicate with humans and with other species too. We also need to move away from our current perception and labeling these Vanaras as monkeys in a derogatory sense, and even the other animals. This is a world which is totally different from what we assume and what we see today. In fact, there is no justifiable translation in English for the term Vanaras. It is very easy to convert the word Vanara into monkey, but that's not the case. Which is why, repeatedly, I prefer to use the term vanaras when I refer to these animals or these sentient beings. In this chapter, we see each vanara, in fact, proclaim his ability to leap across the ocean. This actually gives us an idea of their strength and prowess of their beings. It's important to note that the unit of measure was a yojana, which was 8 miles. And when we talk about the Vanara's ability to jump across the ocean or to travel across the ocean or to leap across from landmass to landmass, having the capacity to do 100 yojanas, that's 800 miles. It's a distance that aircrafts nowadays traverse. In fact, in the Kishkinda Kandam, we see the description of architectural marvels. Kishkinda, the kingdom of Kishkinda, seems to be an architectural masterpiece. Who built this? How was it planned? What was its layout? They used weapons. It is for researchers to analyze these descriptions to understand the architecture of that time. And Kishkinda is not the exception here or the only architectural marvel or town or layout plan that is absolutely amazing. In fact, the book delves into the geography of Kishkinda. It describes in great detail the mountains, the caves, the forests, and various landscapes. This information can be valuable for geographers and environmental researchers to map out the real ancient world. Considering that the dating of the Ramayana is 12,209 BC. It is interesting how Indian scriptures and lore is dismissed as mythology, whereas Greek, Roman, and other ancient scriptures are treated as being reality. And yet, we find that parallel stories and parallel connections as we find other cultures and ancient lore from other traditions. We are actually introduced to Sampati, who is Jatayu's elder brother, in this chapter. And we listen to the story, one feels a touch of the Greek mythology of Icarus flying into the sun was taken from here, considering that Greek mythology is dated later than the Ramayana. In fact, reading through the entire Valmiki Ramayana, one sees many parallels and similar stories that have appeared later in many Greek, Chinese, Roman, and even South American myths. Finding these parallels and similar stories is an interesting topic of research for the generations to appreciate the antiquity and the value of our scriptures and ancient texts. Throughout the Ramayana, we see lessons of righteous behavior and dharma, and equally so outlined in the Kishkinda Kandam. Research in correlating and drawing up similarities with other scriptures and texts that predate the Ramayana and also that follow on these principles of what is good governance, what is dharma, what is righteous behavior is important. The Ramayana is a roadmap and a template for future generations to live a prosperous, peaceful, just, and righteous life. Rama has always been the icon and will continue to be the icon for upholding these principles, era after era. The dialogue between the various individuals in the Kishkinda Kandam, especially their moving from doubt on what is righteous behavior to understanding what is righteous behavior, and the guidance given in the dialogue is what constitutes good and effective governance. In fact, the Kishkinda Kandam will give great insights for researchers who are researching into the field of governance, administration, and they will in fact find guidelines and pointers here. Considering that this is a evolved, advanced human, a self-realized human, Rama and Lakshmana, interacting with the Vanaras, who although advanced, may not be at the advanced level of Rama and Lakshmana and other humans. And yet, they have the capacity to understand the importance of righteous behavior and good governance. Yes, the Kishkinda Kandam does show lapses in morality, lapses in righteousness amongst the Vanaras, and yet it's still a guiding light for good governance, dharma, and righteous behavior. These lapses are actually not looked at as an error or a fault, but are accepted as part of the Vanara's inherent nature. And here is the example where the Vanaras rise above their inherent nature. In fact, this is an opportunity for researchers to explore how these principles of governance, dharma, and righteous behavior have evolved or changed or been interpreted differently across different eras, and especially in current day times. In comparison to our laws, is our jurisprudence in accordance with these guidelines? The Kishkinda Kandam is a geographer's and zoologist's delight. The entire book, in fact, the entire Valmiki Ramayana, and particularly so the Kishkinda Kandam, is replete with descriptions of different parts of the world inhabited by a plethora of variety of animals, plants, and different types of beings. In fact, here I would highly recommend the researchers to visit the works of Nilesh Neelkanth and especially watch his videos like Sugriva's Atlas and Where is Ravana's Lanka. Sugriva, in fact, gives very detailed guidance to each group of Vanaras for them to travel to different lands in the direction they are directed to move to, and to look for Sita, and how to look for Sita, and what to expect in these different lands. In fact, the route maps and the locations, the directory of various plants and animals mentioned in the Kishkinda Kandam is a research topic worthy of pursuit. Now, here is a unique opportunity for artists, especially cartoonists, people working in the animation field, and those interested in creating visual images, because the Kishkinda Kandam offers a wealth of inspiration and opportunity about these lands, these forests, what they look like, full of the special types of trees mentioned here. There are many special types of trees mentioned here. How does a cave landscape within a mountain look like? What would these animals and plants look like? What palaces and kingdoms mentioned herein look like? Here is a baseline for artistic inspiration. So, in conclusion, the Kishkinda Kandam gives a call to action. It is a rich source of information for researchers across different disciplines. The detailed descriptions of the fauna, the unique architecture, the geography, the governance, the behavior, the cultural behavior patterns are a great starting point. In fact, we need to reorient our understanding of the Vanaras and other sentient beings. Further research can explore the book's connection to other mythologies. The evolution of dharma and governance, is it the same across all genre of beings? And the potential for an artistic reinterpretation, a drawing of what is mentioned here in such descriptive words. I call all researchers to continue to delve into the various books of the Ramayana and the Kishkinda Kandam, which is a treasure trove of knowledge that this ancient text offers. It is important because expanding our understanding of the past and its relevance to the present gives us insights for the future. I sincerely hope people watching these videos, interested, general public, academics, scientists, researchers, will continue to listen to this reading of the Valmiki Ramayana, the entire reading of each and every sloka in each and every book of the Valmiki Ramayana, as an inspiration to know more and to delve into the truth about our past and our antiquity. Do take up projects that interest you in the subjects that call to you, and do reach out and collaborate with other researchers, not working in isolation, but to bring forward a collaborative, coordinated, and coherent project Ramayana of value to future generations across the globe. Thank you. ॐ श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनामावरानने ॐ आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्. धन्यवाद.